Hey everyone, welcome back to the Beauty School Bobbi podcast. Today I am here with Tatum Neal, and I am so excited to talk to you today, Tatum. Tatum, you're so like punk rock to me. So this morning, knowing that we were going to talk, I literally like put on like an punk rock playlist. If I'm wrong, I at least had my like high school emo like moment this morning. But is
I
that
love
a
it.
correct assessment?
I think that fits the vibe. Yeah.
Hey, beauty students and educators. I'm excited to share that Beauty School Bobbi is now supported by BeautyCast Network, your go to career services and placement platform for the beauty industry. Free to schools, educators, and students, BeautyCast Network connects you with top artists, influencers, and educators who inspire and empower the next generation of pros. From webinars and newsletters to virtual career showcases, competition, scholarship pop ups, the platform is packed with tools to build non technical skills, encourage career readiness, and help students launch amazing careers as they approach their graduation date. Learn more at beautycastnetwork.com to help your students thrive and take their career to the next level. Now back to the episode. Who are you listening to right now that you're like obsessed with, or what's on your like music? You've been traveling a lot. So are you like music in the headphones when you're traveling?
Yeah, I'm like in between like music, whether it be like some type of rock, hip hop, or electronic. And then I also am kind of a nerd, so I might be listening to like economics or political podcasts too. So I'm like both ends of the spectrum. But I think for right now, I'm kind of into this band. It's gonna sound weird. I'm into this band called Castle Rat, and they're like theatrical metal. Look them up; they're wild, and they come to your neighborhood. You have to go. It's like metal theater. Um, and I've been listening to a ton of electronic music. I DJ regularly, and so I'm all over the place with that. Um, I think like obviously the song of the summer is Acting Tough. And generally speaking, though, my favorite DJ right now is this guy called Abo, and he's playing here tonight. So I'm looking forward to hearing him. Uh, what else? Rap music. Drake album.
Fun.
I'm kind of like I'm not sure about. There's some hits in there. I'm trying to get through it and figure it out. I know the ladies like it, so it's definitely on my. I'm playing it out a lot, so I think that's kind of normal for the summer.
Yeah. So it's so crazy that you juggle all of this. You really are one of the people in the industry that like just is moving in a bunch of different worlds, but I feel like bringing inspiration from all of that is so good. I think there's people that, and I'm sure you know, but like there's people that are so just like, they just do the hair stuff. They're just in the salons or they're whatever, not in a negative way. I feel like everybody is like good, but I really like talking to people that are pooling from different industries, from different areas. I think creatively for what you do, it's really important to do that. So I think there's a huge connection between what you do with music and what you do with Elevate and just kind of what you're producing. How much of an inspiration is music for you? I mean, are they like 50-50? Are you more hair than music? Like what is the balance?
I think hair for me is just a vehicle, so it's a vehicle for artistic expression. It's a vehicle for connections and community. It's just a way for me to kind of wrap it all up into a nice package. And so Elevate certainly does that, right? It's music driven. And whenever I get booked to do a show as an individual artist, like to do on a stage in front of a group of people, music is the nucleus. So it all starts with the music, and I build the show around that. So yeah, I think music has always been on the forefront of my mind. Uh, but to be frank, I'm doing so much work with hair right now that it's not, it's more like 30% of my life. But I wish it was 100%. I wish it could all be music. But honestly, the hair, like I said, it's a vehicle. It allows me to do everything that I really dreamed about doing as a kid, and it's happening now. So I love it.
Yeah, well, I want to kind of talk about the you growing up in this industry. Your family is a huge part of the beauty industry, has been for a very, very long time. I know this has been like, I'm sure, just a part of your life. I'm sure you don't know a part of your life without the beauty industry in it. What are your first memories like of the beauty industry? Like, how young does it go that you were exposed to it that you can remember?
Pre-birth, I guess, Paul Mitchell was the best man at my mom and my dad's wedding. So, I guess
Wow.
I guess since forever, I, I grew up around Horst um, and Paul was there probably when I was very young, before he passed. And I remember Van Council being around a lot from the Van Michael team. And yeah, I just was always immersed in it. I didn't really think much about it though. In fact, I reflexively as a teenager, kind of punk rock to your point, kid wanted to do nothing with it. Actually, I went to college, I got a degree in environmental policy from UNC Chapel Hill, and was working in that capacity. And then I kind of fell into Aveda because of their environmental mission and was working as sort of a corporate tree hugger. And I minored in fine art and was really creative and I was obviously a DJ. And so then the hair thing kind of came about because I wanted to get my master's and I thought it'd be a good side hustle. And so that's kind of how I started. I moved to New York, started working with this guy named Nick Arojo and was with him for about 10 years and then came back and then I did Elevate. So I guess in a way, it was always around me. I didn't want to have much to do with it just because it's like you don't want to work for the family business or whatever. I didn't think it was going to be a thing. I went and worked for another company, fell in love with New York City, fell in love with the difficulty of hair. Like I wasn't as good as I mentally thought I should be. And so I just kind of fell in love with the industry and that was like forever ago. So I've been with it ever since. I guess I was always meant to be here. It just took me a long time to figure it out.
Well, I also think you've made your own place with it. I mean, I think being around Nick, obviously, like we know that he DJs and just has like a different view and an outlook of the industry. I'm sure that that perspective being different than what your family probably was showing you or what you maybe thought they were doing. It's funny when you think about what your parents' job is, and then when you get older, you're like, oh wait, I had no idea what the job really was. But I do feel like with Elevate, especially, you've made it your own. It's not what the family was doing. It's not the salons and all of that. I mean, it is, but it's not your main thing or what you've brought to the table. You've really made it your own. Has that always been supported by everyone around you to be like, oh, Tatum's just going to do his own thing. We got to let him do his own thing.
Um, what's funny is our family business actually, and I didn't know this as a kid, like I just imagine as you were sort of alluding to that the hair industry was behind the chair. Um, but our family business, the Neil Corporation, actually put itself on the map because of our hair shows and bringing in artists from Europe and exposing them to Americans and in the South in particular. So it was always part of our culture. I didn't know that. And it wasn't until later when I came back after college, I experienced a hair show and I was like, oh, there's this other side of it that I didn't quite understand. Uh, and that was like really inspiring to see, oh, there's this show thing. So I think that we have a legacy at Neill of supporting the artists and respecting the hairdresser in a way that a lot of other distributors don't. We're not a transactional business, we're a relationship business. It's not just about buying shampoo. And so I think when I started Elevate and it was just in my salon, a few people, um, my family really was supportive of it. And, Elevate is brand neutral. I've said the word Aveda a few times on here. But what I noticed in my salon and how it started was there was a salon across the street. I see their clients every day. I see their staff every day. I could throw a rock and hit their building. I did not do that, but theoretically I could. Uh, and one day we were kind of like starting this thing called Elevate and it was in the salon. And I went over and invited them to come hang out, have some beer, do some hair, whatever. And it felt right. And I realized that, as hairdressers, we're fractured by our salon affiliation, our brand affiliation, and all that's good. That's what pays the bills, right? I'm not saying that I'm not saying that we shouldn't be have, brands we work with. We shouldn't have salons we work with. Um, but I think that it limits our full potential. And I really think that as hairdressers, we have this huge opportunity to create whatever change we want to see in the world. And we do that by touching people every day. And if we as hairdressers wanted to change the world, we want to just share a message with the entire world. If we had a collective community, we could do that in 6 to 8 weeks. There's no other business or um, anything that can do that except for us. And so I think that's a huge opportunity, but we can't do it because we're in these silos everywhere. So Elevate really is about being brand neutral. We don't put any logos on the walls because the second you put a logo on the wall, someone else feels like they can't go there. And anyone from any discipline, whether it be barbering, styling, cutting, any experience level, we have people been doing it for 20 years or huge platform artists, and they're sat right next to a kid who just started a couple years ago. There's no barriers to entry. You just have to want to do something and work up a little bit of courage and get on stage, and you can do it. And some of my best moments of Elevate are seeing the passion in kids' eyes when they get to do something that they really wanted to do and get to share that interaction with the audience. And then also, I go to different cities. I don't tour a group of people. I go to a city, and wherever I'm at, that's who's on stage. And so many times people come up and say, "Thank you. Our community needed this. Our community needed to get together." And those are my favorite things about the show. It's not even really about me. Certainly I DJ or I curate the music. I bring a DJ with me, and that allows for artists to really get into their true artistic flow. They don't have to talk. They don't have to educate. They can actually just be creative. And there's really not an opportunity for the audience to see that. When you go see a big main stage thing, you can't really get into the flow. You're talking, you're acting in a way. So you can't really be that true artistic self. And so at Elevate, the artist get to experience that flow state and the audience gets to witness it too. And so that's the best part. And last but not least, I am from New Orleans. So the music is pretty like ratchet, dirty South stuff. And that's really fun too.
Well, it's awesome because I think that so many of the students that we work with, I mean, especially like we're here in Knoxville. So there's people that are just have never even seen anything like Elevate, right? Like they've never had the chance to experience that. Now, we know that individual personalities, I mean, we're all existing here and finding ourselves, especially at the age of students of, the 18, 19, 20. You're figuring out who you are and maybe the people around you don't associate with the things that you're listening to or whatever, like you're finding these people, and I think it's so great for them to be able to attend an event where you're like, okay, I feel seen, I get it, and I more relate to these people that are on stage. And so I think it's really cool that it's not just like you bringing in people from New Orleans or from a certain area. I love that when you go in, you're really building that community because that's what's going to exist there, and you might be making connections with people like students. Especially, I love that you said that when it's the young people that are new in the industry to like catch this fire, they may not have been connected even though living in the same city. If it's a large city, they might not know that that person exists or that salon exists. So I think when you talk about changing the world, when you talk about the way that we can really grow as an industry and build together, that's such an important piece of it because we have to have those connections. But I think representation is just so important, and knowing that this exists, knowing that you can go to Elevate and attend an event like this, and maybe you don't feel seen in your community every day. I mean, I meet with students that are from very, very small rural areas, and getting to see them, blossom in a place where they were probably, the outcasts or not like everybody else. Just knowing that there's a place for that is really, really special and is really awesome. So tell me about how Elevate started. Like, what was your idea or what was the push for you to be like, we're going to do this show and we're going to travel with it? Like, how long was the process of we're going to create it, this is a thing we're going to do in our area or wherever we're going to put it, and then to where we're going to travel doing shows all the time?
Yeah, it started as just like a little jam in the salon, right? And then how it elevated, escalated, I guess, into what it is now is my stepfather, Michael Baker, at the time had this secondhand scissor project. And he basically would get scissors from, seasoned and like big hairdressers. And then he would give those to younger hairdressers to, try to have some sort of energy transfer. And we had this event every January called Serious Business. and there's like 1,500 people there. And serious business is a bit of a misnomer. It's really personal development. We have had like Mel Robbins, Brene Brown, Malcolm Gladwell, these like people you would see on TED Talks talking to our industry. So it doesn't matter if you're a hairdresser, even I think you can get something out of it. But I came back from New York. We were doing we were doing this Elevate thing, and we weren't having an after party for this thing. And just me being the DJ, I was like, I'm just gonna go rogue and throw book a venue and throw an after party. And I did. And then that kind of gave Michael permission to kind of like do something the next year. And that's when he did the secondhand scissor project. And it wasn't Elevate, but a lot of the ingredients were there. Like, so I can't remember if there was a DJ on stage or not, but it was like a no talking kind of thing, just hair, jam. Maybe there was a DJ, I can't recall. But that kind of idea and that thing after serious business sort of scaled it up from behind the in the salon to on the platform. And then back to my family, my brother Edwin was saying, you know, we need some energy in one of our markets. What if you did this Elevate thing you're doing in the salon? And since you did something similar on stage, why don't you bring it to Houston? And at the time, it was just like an Aveda show. It was we only asked Aveda artists, and it didn't feel right to me to just be in our own community. I wanted to reach a broader community. So the next show we did in Nashville, and I invited people that weren't from our network, that were from different places. Brian Hickman was one of the first people to do it as well in this Nashville territory. And of course, I had some resistance from our sales team and stuff because Neill was sponsoring it, but we didn't have Neill anywhere. We didn't have Aveda anywhere. It was just open. And so um, that one in Nashville really like changed everything. And in the idea of it being brand neutral and inclusive is how it started. And that was in 2016. So look, we're 10 years out from that.
With these shows and with at this point, like again, touring and doing all of this, what do you have coming up for people listening? What's happening kind of through the rest of the year? Do you know like locations where you're going to be, how you're picking markets? Like where can we follow and attend Elevate?
Great question. We're going to hit some of the East Coast. Like we've done these shows all over the country, and all in Canada even as well. We're going to do DC for the first time. That's coming up August 9th, I think, that first Sunday in August. And then after that, we're going to be in Richmond, Virginia, which is has a great artist community. Then we're heading over to Kansas City, which we haven't done before. And then we're coming back to the East Coast and doing Baltimore. So that's like 4 Sundays in a row. So I think that's like the August 9th, 16th, 23rd, and then 30th. And then I think September 23rd, we're going to do Albuquerque. And then I don't think we have something coming up. I might end up doing Toronto again for the Contessa Awards. I think check in with those guys. And then we'll finish up the year and the new year at Serious Business January 17th or 16th. So how many shows was that? That was like
Yes.
five, six, 7 shows.
It's like 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing. And like I said, it's so fun that you're able to travel and just meet people all the time and really like places that you haven't been yet. I'm sure that's exciting for you to be like, we're going into new places. It's not, where I've been before. You get to see new places. So I'm sure that that keeps you going a little bit too. Where are you like most excited to be like, I can't wait to see what this event turns into? Is it one that maybe you're like, I don't know what to expect from it? Like, what area are you looking forward to?
I really don't know. A part of me is excited about Richmond just because I know there's like it's real artsy there. Um, every city has its own culture, and that's kind of why we don't really bring in outside artists. I want the city and the community there to be able to express themselves. So everyone is so different. I'm kind of excited about Baltimore for some reason. I just something in my gut says that's going to be an interesting one. And then to be frank, the New Orleans show, it's our hometown. And we're so into costume culture there because of Mardi Gras that the locals just do stuff like really out there. And this entire year, actually, this is the first time we've done that. We've created a theme. I think hairdressers work better in a box. So like if someone sits down, and this might be great advice for your students, like if someone sits down and says, do whatever, what does that mean? Like we want long layers, we want a bob, we want a pixie. I often just tell clients, cool, can I shave your head? And then they're like, no, I want a bob. And then once I know they want a bob, then I can be really creative now that I have a little bit of a box, right? And so the idea this past season was what if we gave the artist at Elevate a box? And the theme was very simple. It was just space, and people have really made some incredible headpieces and things that are like out of this world, just like crazy stuff, huge spaceship headpieces, things that are rotating, costumes. It's been really fun. So um, this year we've been doing space themes, so I'm excited to see that. But we did space last year in New Orleans, so I have to kind of create a new theme for New Orleans. I'm not sure what it's going to be, um, but that show just it's again, it's like a homecoming for us. New Orleans hip hop is part of what we do musically, and so it gets real fun and wild in there. It gets real thick, and the creativity and the costuming and the hair pieces in New Orleans are always exciting. So I'm looking forward to seeing what these five other cities are going to do. But if I had to put my money on anything, I think New Orleans is going to be the best one.
Yes. Okay. And we'll make sure that we have links for Elevate in the episode description so that if somebody's listening and wants to get tickets and wants to be there, like that they'll be able to do that too. Because I think this is something that, again, live shows are just different. I think that, like you said, like you can go to a main stage and see somebody, showing their art and really, I mean, they put time, they put energy and effort into it. But the live shows just like a whole different feeling, and being open minded enough to going to these events and meeting people and meeting the people around you, I think is so important. I encourage our students or anybody that's kind of feeling like, okay, I feel a little stale right now. I need some excitement. I need some motivation. The live shows are a really great place to get fed again because it's easy to burn out in this, but I think you come back with more energy, excitement, ideas, all of that.
Bobby, that's totally like nail on the head. And I think, for your students, it's also new. There's so much creativity and challenge that's happening right now. Um, I think hairdressing is really at its most fun. I think that as people get more seasoned, the monotony of the job is there, that no one signed up for hair school to do trims and root touch-ups, but that's what's going to be paying the bills. And so I think for our more senior artists, as they get more like tenured in this industry, they kind of lose touch of what your students are feeling right now, and that sense of awe and excitement and being able to express yourself creatively. And I think that what Elevate really does for our stage artists and our audience is they get to tap into that student, if you will, that kid that signed up to hair school when they were 19 and 20 and were just full of life and excitement, and their whole career was in front of them. They get to touch base with that again, and you don't realize that lack of creativity is slowly crushing your soul. It's slowly making you resent your career, and it just becomes a job. And I think so many people leave this career early because they lose touch with that side of themselves. And so I think definitely for your students, you should go and be in awe and want to get back on, want to get on that stage, as soon as you can. But for people who've been in the industry for a while, I think you need to come and touch base with that cosmetology student again, for a second, and touch base with your creative soul. It's really important. And I promise once you leave, you will have realized that you were missing something this whole time, and Elevate can be the conduit for that.
Yeah, it's so great. And I think that I like that you had mentioned the other industries as well that you're bringing in. Like there's a lot of costume designers. There's, I mean, obviously there's areas that are super artistic. Getting them to see this view of the beauty industry as well is really important. I think it just helps people to see us in a different light, to see the beauty industry in a different way that they might not be able to see it. Do you have any memories or does anything stand out for you of interactions that you've had with somebody that's come to Elevate that's maybe in a different industry and they're like, holy crap, what is this? I didn't know that the beauty industry did anything like this. Is there anybody that has kind of stuck with you?
I mean, it happens every show. Someone's husband is there, so the
Does
bartenders,
it?
the security guards. Sometimes people just walk in. It's open. It's free. It doesn't cost any money. I don't charge artists anything. It's a totally free thing. It's a silent sponsorship with Neill and Aveda. So there's no barriers of entry, and the music is good. So sometimes people come in just because, oh, this music's good, and they're like blown away that there's this whole side of what we do. They don't see that in the salon. I mean, they probably shouldn't see that in the salon. We're not making spaceship headpieces for people. But yeah, they're like, wow, I never thought about this as an art. And I think it's important for people to appreciate what we do artistically, because that is so much of what we do. And there is so much, things that are intangible, things that you can't really like write on paper, that happen with the service and with the technical experience of hairdressing that people need to be exposed to. I think that, you know, lately people have kind of been more in touch with things, especially like post 2020. I think people are realizing, oh, we're more important. But understanding that we are really true artists is really important, and Elevate does shine a light on that. And that happens every show, honestly.
Hmm. That's awesome. I think that would be my favorite part. I love changing people's minds about what they think the industry is, or like, parents coming in and maybe not being so on board, but then you show them this, or they see their child just like light up in the environment. I've had so many parents at graduations being like thanking us for just allowing their child to fully like just butterfly, like, to really like be who they are, and you see them change and grow in so many different ways. So I'm sure that that's happening a lot with you all too through the shows, of just being like
100%.
thank you. Like I just feel yeah, and that is like the best thing in the world. I mean, it's so rewarding, and like having that instant gratification of knowing what you're doing matters, and what you're doing and hosting is important. And I just love that that experience gets to happen too. I think that for people that are like, I want to change the world, I want to make this a better place, and I want to be happy myself, I think that that like really hits all, checks all those boxes. So I think that that's special too. Now, what is one thing in the beauty industry that you're not loving right now? What is something that you're like, not loving this, kind of hope this goes away soon in the industry, or a side of it that you don't love?
I mean, gainful employment would be number one. I mean, obviously, I think we're all terrified about that legislation that could potentially upend all beauty schools. I think that
Hmm.
there's a lot of nefarious actors out there that are trying to undermine our industry, take away licensure, remove hours from what we do. I think that there is a lack of appreciation of what hairdressing is. It is not woodworking. it is not it is not plumbing, and those are respectable crafts. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that hair is like a fingerprint. And for us as educators in the cosmetology school, we have to prepare our students for every type of person, every type of hair type. And if you have a sibling, you probably notice that you and your sibling don't have the same hair. So how can we as educators prepare our students for every type of hair there is out there in every type of situation? We can't. Not even if we did a million hours could we do it. It takes a lot of time. And so to devalue what we're doing from an education standpoint, and remove hours and remove licensure is one threat that's happening to us. And this immediate threat with, taking away federal funding for hairdressing and for cosmetology schools, that's really scary. And I think that one of the reasons why, and for not to get overly technical, but gainful employment basically means, if the government gives you money to go to school, you should be able to make that money back, more or less, right? And when they look at it from a broad perspective, they say if you just finish high school and that's it, what's your income level? And it's not really a fair comparison, because if you look at the cosmetology school, it skews 98% female, maybe 95 at the least. And if you look at the average female income out of high school without any extra education, and you compare that to cosmetology wins every time. But for men, sometimes they go into factories, or they go into other areas where the pay can be higher, and so it skews that average number. And it's really unfortunate. Obviously, independence and tipping and not declaring that's all feeding into that. But to think that just with, you know the stroke of a pen, that they could change the entire cosmetology industry overnight, that's really scary. And so I would be remiss if I didn't mention that. And if anyone's hearing this podcast, you should put some pressure on your politicians, and I think one thing that we as Americans don't appreciate is we live in a representative democracy. And that means that you can right now pick up the phone and call your congressman, call your senator, and they have to answer the phone. You can email them and they have to respond, and enough of us, again, back to this idea of elevate, but enough of us talk to our clients, our classmates, our teachers, and we get on the phone and we tell people, we tell our congressmen to stop this and express to them how impactful it'll be to the economy and to you personally, we actually have a chance, but we have to do it right now. So hopefully people are hearing this part of the podcast and they pick up the phone and they reach out to their senator and their congressman because it's important.
Yes, absolutely. I think that this I think has all hit really obviously like close to home to realize how quickly something can happen and how much we are like kind of just here, we're at the mercy of them. We understand that like financial aid is so important. You mentioned getting a bachelor's degree at Chapel Hill. Like how many people are using financial aid there like unquestioned of what they're going to do after, and it really just feels like a personal attack. It really feels like they're coming after us, which I've said so many times. I'm like, like they have no clue the power of the beauty industry. I'm very well, I'm like just super optimistic anyways, just in life, but I'm like, this is not the group of people you want to come after. Like they have no idea how powerful, how strong, how loud we can actually be. And I'm hoping that, like you said, if you're listening, like pick up the phone, like do whatever you can, because I know there's a lot of power, a lot of force in this industry. So to come after it, I'm like, oh, these people really don't know who we are.
Right. And I would say this, whoever Linda McMahon, she's the Secretary of Education, WWE owner, Linda McMahon. She's
Vince
the head of the
McMahon's
education
wife.
department.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So who's doing her hair? And her hairdresser needs to like pick up the phone and be like, babe, no, and shut this down. It just literally takes one hairdresser. Like, who's Linda McMahon's hairdresser? Find who that person is. They need to pick up the phone and be like, Linda, babe, we can't be doing this, and then it would be shut down right away. So, internet, do your work. Find Linda McMahon's hairdresser. Linda McMahon hairdresser, listen to me. Please call your client and tell her to shut this down.
Yes. Well, I didn't realize I have talked about this I think before on the podcast, and like not to get political, but the our mayor in Knoxville is Kane, like the Undertaker's brother.
Hmm. Oh, really? There we go.
Like
Let's
that's
figure it
real
out.
life. Yes, like that's our mayor. And I'm like, at no point in my life, because I grew up watching like WWF, like all the
Yeah.
things, and I'm like, I never thought that this would be a person that I professionally was going to have to like justify what we're doing. I'm like, is this real life? Like this has to be a prank. I
Please tell
can't
me you've talked to
understand
him.
how much like it, I have. Yes, we
Okay.
have. And actually our one of our congressmen had two daughters in our school. So we were able, like he wrote letters and support a few months ago, still very like active and helping us through this, because obviously he believes in the industry. He believes in all of this. And the response is super disappointing from her office specifically. It's hard. And again, I just never in a million years thought this was a world we were going to be living in, that this is who we were going to be dealing with, or that this was going to be a part of our life. But it really is, like, even just in the responses, you can see that they just don't understand. They have no desire to understand our industry, nor do they like have any like at all. And like you said, somebody's doing this person's hair. Somebody is, I mean, guaranteed they're getting services, getting spot, like all the things. They just don't understand what it takes to be successful in this industry, and what we need to do to keep it safe for everybody. So yeah, a huge issue right now, and super happy that you brought it up and that we're able to talk about it, because it's super important right now. And we do have to use our voices, and if any industry I think can make a change, it's ours.
It's our industry, and our industry has to make the change. And the reality is that our elected representatives can't know everything. They don't know about being a doctor. They don't know about being a hairdresser, right? So it's our job to sort of organize and collectivize and reach out and use the power of our connections, our networks to affect change.
Mm-hmm.
The reality is they want to get reelected. So plain and simple. So
Mm-hmm.
all we have to do is organize pick up the phone, talk to our customers, and we can actually make change. But, we got to do it real fast. And so please clip this, make a short form video of it. Let's spread it out there. We have to make this happen for our industry.
Yes, for sure. Tatum, I have a question. Who is somebody that you look at? It doesn't have to be in the beauty industry, but somebody that really inspires you, even if it changes a lot, even if it's like by day. Who is an inspiration for you? Whether it's personal inspiration or in the industry inspiration, who is somebody that you look up to, or not even just like and look up to in a way of like, oh, I want to be like them, but just somebody that you're like, oh, that inspires me. I feel fed, from this person.
I mean, it's hard to say just one, because there's been so many people along the way. I think like Antoinette Beenders has been a huge influence for me. Obviously, my former boss and mentor, Nick Arrojo, was a huge influence for me. His wife was a huge influence for me. I think right now, creatively, what I'm really inspired by is this guy, Sylvester or Silvestri Finold out of London. The work he's doing right now is just like incredible. And I'm gonna be a jock right now and say I'm so excited about Jalen Brunson and the Knicks, what they did during the NBA Finals, and what it's meant to the city of New York, is just I can't articulate it. It was incredible. Even if you're not into sports, you couldn't have watched that fourth game and that 30-point comeback and not have just been blown away. But I'm telling you, what it did to the city of New York. People are like smiling and hugging strangers and saying good morning. It really is quite remarkable. And honestly, a 6 foot one guard that no one really thought much about and everyone discounted put the team and the city on his back, and he won the finals. It's amazing. So today, that's what I'm most inspired by.
I love it. Everything at Elevate's gonna be blue and orange, like on the next one. You're like, it's Knicks and
Unfortunately,
Knicks
orange is
only.
not great hair. It's not a great hair background, so it won't be blue and orange. I mean, I'm gonna wear a little bit here, but I got to go black base with the orange, otherwise it doesn't work out for me.
It really is like perfect timing, I think, too. I think, at least, like I said, like before, I mean, I think it's just so inspiring to see the team that everyone's discounting, like just has been bad for so long. I mean, that's the best as a sports fan, to just be like, oh, you can do it. And it is exciting. And like you said, for the city, like everyone's happy, everyone's like excited again. Like it's just that good. And that spread of that positive energy is just, it's everything. It's so fun. So I love that that's an inspiration for you right now. And I think that this is going to be something that we follow, talk about, hear about for a while. So I think it's really great. And his dad, being I mean, there's just so many pieces of the story that's like, this was just their time. This was their moment. It was meant to happen. It all led up to a championship. And I just love that you're so excited about it too. And I know you said that you like went up to New York City to be a part of that. And I think that that speaks to you and like wanting to feel that, kind of chasing that feeling. I think a lot of people in the beauty industry can relate to just like wanting to be around the good. Even when we're at hair shows or whatever, it's just like, okay, like I'm around good again. Like this is what I'm looking for. This is what I need. And so many of us relate to that because I think our everyday isn't always, that feeling, obviously, as much as we wish it could be. So I think it's really fun that you found that in like a different way also.
I did. I'm just trying to hold on to it as long as I can.
Well, I think New York's going to make us. Like, I think even the parade and everything. I mean, I think this is something, like I said, I don't know if you heard, but yesterday, I think it was announced that like Ben Stiller is producing something about, the playoff series and everything. And so I think there's going to be a lot more to come.
Yay, it definitely felt like a movie. And I'm pretty sure I know that Timothy Chalamet will be in the movie.
Absolutely. There's just so many facets of this that were so exciting for everybody. Like if you're a Swiftie, if you love Kylie Jenner and Timothy Chalamet, like there's just so many different facets of what made this exciting for everybody. But what a time to
Yep.
be alive. What a
What a
moment.
time to be alive. Yeah, for sure.
Um, Tatum, what are some goals that you have for? I know that I mean we were talking before recording. You're traveling a lot. You're on the road. I know you've been in the industry, for a while. What goals do you have at this point? I think after a little bit, again, creative people in the industry, you need that refresh. You need that that path to be on to know that you're going somewhere, that you're not just standing still. What's that look like for you personally as far as goals or things that you want to achieve?
Um, when I left college, my goal was to create social change through art, music, and fashion. And it felt like a very lofty, idealistic 20-year-old dream, but it still kind of is. And I still think that is like my goal. And obviously that's very vague, but you know, every day, every time I do something, I'm trying to create impact and whatever I do. And so it's not necessarily that I have a goal specifically. It's that how can I find ways to impact others and make the world a better place? And whether that's making a room full of people dance, or inspiring a hairdresser on a main stage performance, or giving a hairdresser an opportunity to do something that they feel passionate about, or it's helping a new artist with a haircut and helping them improve their retail, or all these things. I think there's so many ways to impact people and create change. I just always try to keep my head on straight about like what is the intention and what is the purpose about what I'm doing. And so that's my goal. I want to change the world, and sometimes I'm doing it just a haircut at a time.
I love that. That's so great. And I think that again, a lot of people relate to that, but it's you feel weird when you're that person. I don't know a ton of people around me in my everyday life that are like, I just want to change the world. I want to make it a better place. Like it's so good to know that that community is out there and that there are other people chasing that, and that it's okay to feel that way, and it's not idealistic or whatever. I mean, you really can, and you really can make a difference, and this industry is a great place for it. So when you're talking to somebody about coming into the beauty industry, or a student, somebody new, what is the advice that you have for them, like right now in the way that the world is? If somebody's like, listen, I'm starting my career, I don't know where to go, I'm not sure what route I want to go. There's a lot of conversation of booth rent, commission, like everybody has an opinion about that, but bigger than that, somebody that's looking to start a successful career, like what advice do you have for them that might be like a little bit different than what they're thinking about right now?
I think that the number one advice I would give someone who's just thinking about going to hair school, or someone who's just leaving hair school, is one, when you go to hair school, like, you definitely want to pick the one that's going to give you the best opportunity for what's next. And know that every day is not going to be awesome. Every day of life isn't awesome, right? Um, but it's going to be ups and downs, and you have to hang on to the feeling of those ups to get through those low points. But know that it's just a moment, and that there's always another day. And so get through hair school. So many kids don't take their test. They're afraid of taking a test. Just take your stupid test. Like, like, if what could go wrong, you fail your test. Okay, take it again. Like, it's really not that big of a deal. Like, no, it's fine. Just take your test. No one's going to judge you on whether or not you failed your test or not. Just take it, get it over with. Right. And then when you're going to a salon, I think that really starts in hair school. You need to go to all the salons in your area, and you need to pick up the price menu, and you need to look at the top price. Like, what's the most expensive haircut and color? Know that you're going to tap out there. That's going to be it. Right. So if that money doesn't equal where you want to be, regardless of how creative that space may be, go where the money's at, and there's nothing wrong with making money in this industry. And I think a lot of hairdressers don't appreciate the business side of it. And when you're in that chair and you're doing it, like, keep keep being hungry about being better and getting education, and be focused about raising your prices. And there's no career where you can give yourself a 20-25% salary increase every single day. And you can do that by doing a botanical repair treatment or whatever treatment there is in your salon. So many people don't ask their clients to do these little things that actually makes a big deal in your paycheck, especially if you do it consistently. So appreciate the business side of it. Um, try to learn there, and you can be really you can have a really luxury lifestyle. And the best part about having that luxury lifestyle instead of being a banker or a lawyer is you get to have that lifestyle by hanging out with your friends every day and doing creative things. Like that's the best part of it. So you can only get there though by appreciating both, knowing that you need to be educated and your education never stops. It's always happening and should always happen. And two, it is a business. And the faster you realize it's a business and the faster you execute business activities, the happier you're going to be.
I love that you mentioned the control of it and the control of what you're making. I think that from what we're seeing in students, I'm sure that you have experienced this as well, but teaching those soft skills. I remember, I mean, even coming into school like 14 years ago, obviously retail's conversation. How do you sell? How do you talk about things? All of that is very, very important. We're facing different challenges now of how this generation is communicating and different ways or fears that they have. And I'm involved enough and lucky enough to just be like, I had an idea the other day, or I was thinking about something that I wanted to talk to them about or get their opinion on. Because when we go to school conferences, sometimes I'm like, geez, this school is just like not speaking highly of their students. Like they're this and I'm like, oh, I love it. Like I'm like, I just want to like they're inspiring me, like they're teaching me. I always say, I'm like, they're keeping me young, number one, and cool. Like I'm trying to still be like, hey guys, like what's up? I'm like that mom from Mean Girls, but I will just pop out there and ask them a question. And then it's figuring out like, okay, well, what do we need to provide as an industry, as a school, as whatever we are in this world, to help them with that. And so I think the fears are a little bit different. The challenges are a little bit different with that because we're having to have the conversation of just how to talk to people anyways. Like I can talk to a wall. Some of the students are coming in with just not having been taught that yet. They haven't learned how to do that yet. But I think that exactly what you said, the important piece of this is yes, we need to know how to communicate just as humans, human to human, we need to know how to communicate. And it's helpful for, having clientele and building clientele, but even more importantly, because like you said, this is a business. We are in this to make money, to live a great life, for whatever that means for everybody. It's so different, but that's really your control. That's where you have to be able to grow, to make more money, to really, like you said, give yourself a raise, like give yourself an increase of income. And you're not waiting for somebody to just tell you, hey, this is your salary this year. This is what you're going to make. It's really that you have control of it. So I love that you put it in the perspective of it's on them to do it too. Like it's a benefit for them, not just like, oh, you have to do this to be in the industry. I've heard it explained a few different ways, or maybe talked about a few different ways, but I really like that it gives them that freedom and control too.
Yeah, I mean, and the reality is like I feel like retail has become a dirty word. But like it's not really retail. It's just your clients are going to shampoo their hair. Like you should talk to them about that. Like
Mm-hmm.
so many people, honestly, so many people don't know how to condition their hair. They would just put conditioner right on their roots. And so we think that for some reason everyone knows what we know. They don't. We need to be having really good conversations and consultations with their clients about what their routine is. Like my favorite story about this, and this is like kids out there, write this down. I say this before every single client. My goal as a hairdresser is for you to look good every day without changing your routine. And I mean that. Like, I don't want them to have to do something different. Like, a lot of people don't have time to change their routine. So I need to understand, do you blow dry your hair? How often are you shampooing? Do you condition? How do you condition? My favorite story is this hairdresser. I was talking about this, and we do this service rule class at Neill a lot and help people like really understand and function within the service cycle to optimize the best service for their guests. And I'm doing this whole thing and talking about this routine. And this hairdresser goes, oh my God, my husband, I've been another 2 years and his hair is always like a mess. It's always like poofy and disaster. And so she was like, kept giving him stronger and stronger conditioners. And then 2 years into the relationship, it's just not working. And somehow he kind of slipped up and said his routine. This guy was conditioning his hair and then shampooing for his whole life. So he's married to a hairdresser. They're struggling to figure out why is his hair so poofy, and she never did the work to say, wait, how are you using this? And he was conditioning and then shampooing. So if this hairdresser's husband was doing it wrong for 2 years. They're living together and she couldn't figure it out. That means we as hairdressers aren't doing the work of just asking, hey, what's your routine? How are you doing it? How can I help? That's really what retailing is. It's just finding out like how they're doing it. How can you help? They're going to be getting something from somewhere. And the worst thing that can happen is they go buy something that's wrong or they're doing something wrong and their hair looks bad and then they're blaming you. They're not blaming the shampoo they got. They're blaming you. And
Mm-hmm.
so don't let that happen to you. Learn their routine and recommend things with integrity. I'm not pushing things on people. I promise you, my client needs a botanical repair. I'm just recommending it. She's getting it. And guess
Mm-hmm.
what? I get a raise. Win win. What are we complaining about?
I love it. Thank you for making that so digestible. I'm really excited to share that piece with our students. I think you explained that so well. It's exactly what the new students need to hear, and just like let go of that fear. So they say no. Who cares? Like it's fine. Like just keep going, keep talking about it. And like you said, it's education. You're not like selling I don't know, something they don't need. It's really just informational. So Tatum, thank you so much for being here with me today. I'm so thankful that you made time. I know you are so busy. So we want to make sure that, like I said, links are going to be in the episode description so we can see where to follow Elevate to see what you're doing. But where can we follow you, Tatum?
You can follow me just on my Instagram or socials at Tatum Neal. And then when you go to at Tatum Neal, you can see all the links for all the other things. So definitely go check out Elevate Hair and our new page, Elevate Color. We've got new cool tools that are hairdresser designed and really colorful. But you can see all the shows and all of our creative media stuff on Elevate Hair. And then you can follow me around town, so to speak, around the country at Tatum Neal.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I really have heard amazing things about Serious Business. I would love to get there. We've never been to New Orleans, so I really want to
What?
go for that also. I
You
know,
gotta
it's
go.
crazy, but
Wait,
I need to,
what? Okay, so it's like
yeah,
January 16th,
I
17th, something
know.
like that weekend. Like, come early, come a day early so you can get to see the city. Mardi Gras is a little early this year. Mardi Gras fluctuates with the Easter calendar, so it's a little early. So there might be some Mardi Gras stuff happening. Um, the food's incredible. The show is incredible. It's really transformative. It's at the beginning of the year, so your whole year is going to be different by going to the show. And not only is the stuff on stage really insightful and impactful, the networking is great. There's going to be salon owners and hairdressers from all over. So yeah, stop. What are you doing? Go get tickets now. Get your hotel. I promise you're going to eat good, you're going to drink good, you're going to come back different, and you won't regret it.
Well, I love it. I've been told for years and years and years to be at this event. So I hopefully this is the year that we'll be able to make it happen. And I want to see Elevate. I want to see all the things that you're
You
doing
want
in
to see
your world.
Elevate.
Because I see you
Yeah.
in yes. Well, I can't wait. Thank you so much for being here with us. And like I said, we'll make sure that we plug everything for you. And so in the episode description down below, make sure that you check out everything Elevate, follow Tatum, and check us out next time on the Beauty School Bobbi podcast. Bye, guys.
Bye.